What's up, YouTube? I'm back with another video. Anyway, you guys, today, as you could read in the title, I am doing a story time just of my life and what makes me who I am today. Please do not judge me. I may come from a different place than where you guys come from, but make sure before I get into the video, make sure you guys subscribe to my YouTube channel. I am doing a giveaway once I hit 1,000 subscribers, guys. So please subscribe. FYI, I might get emotional because my life is a little emotional, just a little bit. And I really didn't put my whole entire life because it would be like 20,000 parts. I literally just broke it down into little sections and like brief sections so that it's not so, so long. And comment down below if you've had a troubled time in your life and you like to share it. I'm all ears. I like to, hear different things because everybody has a different story. But I'm gonna get into the video. I'm gonna play a little music in the background. The music that I'm playing is it's by D Wolf. If you guys have a SoundCloud, it's by D Wolf. You guys should go check him out. He's pretty cool. I love his music. Yeah, I'm gonna get into the video and we're gonna start off from when I was born by the river. I was born by the river. I was shaking that ass. Oh, sorry. But yeah, I'm gonna start from my birth. Okay, so I was born December 29th, 1995, baby. Yes, I am 24 years old. I lived with my parents when I was born, for maybe about a year or two. The time frames might be off a little bit because, some people can't remember all that. Can't remember 24 years of your life. My parents were both addicted to drugs. They were addicts. And if you guys know, that is a disease and it's really something hard to struggle for the parents and for the kids and the family around. So 3 years pass and I have a sister. My little sister is born. So she's born the same day as me, December 29th, just a different year, 1998. Crazy. I know everybody's like, how is that true? Like, how? Like, that's not even possible. Like, that's not it's possible. You can see, if you want to see the birth certificates, you can see those too. Just joking. When she was born, things got really bad. Like, they got really bad. And make sure you guys watch to the end because this story definitely has a turnaround. I don't know why my music stopped. Okay. So, my little sister was born December 29th, 1998. My parents were not stable at the time. When my sister was born, my mom was still doing drugs as she was pregnant. So now when she's pregnant and you give birth, you cannot have any type of drugs in your system when you're giving birth. It's an automatic, like, click, clack, clack, bam, bam, DCF, here we go, let's take those kids because they're not safe in that environment. So they took me from my parents. I was 3 and she was taken away straight from birth. I'm not saying nobody's names or anything in this video. So boom, we get taken away. So from there we moved to my grandmother's house. And my grandmother was responsible for a lot of kids. All of my uncles and aunts were addicts. They were either addicted to alcohol, addicted to drugs. Most of them were addicts. And it was my grandmother who took on the responsibility to take care of all her grandkids. So it was a really full house and it was very stressful on her for her to take care of so many kids. So my grandma got really sick and she could no longer take care of us. So we got taken away from her, not really taken away, but they took us away because she wasn't doing well. She couldn't take care of all of us. So we all got spread out into different places. So, boom, from there, I moved to my uncle's house, who was not stable to take care of me or my little sister neither. He was an alcoholic. and we stayed there for a little bit, and this is where we experienced our first time ever being abused or anything of that sort. Hurt, you know what I'm saying? We're already hurt, we're already taken away from our parents. That's good enough. And when we moved there, it was not better, it was just worse. We got abused. The point in time, the reason why we got taken away from him is because we were in the bathtub one day and we were playing, and there was a chandelier hanging on top of the tub. Why would he have a chandelier on the top of the tub when there's kids there? I don't know, blows minds. But he had a chandelier, and all of a sudden, like, who knows what happened, it literally, the chandelier literally just dropped in the tub. Like, lights and everything, like, electricity and water don't mix. Good thing we didn't get electrocuted, but there was glass every single place in the tub. When we got out the tub, I'm telling you, like, we had glass in our legs, we had glass in our feet, we had glass everywhere. And he promised me and my little sister that when we got out the shower, that we would have a meal, like that we would eat dinner. And he was drunk at the time, and being the fact that he was drunk, he wasn't in his right state of mind. So from there, we went to bed with glass. Like me, I was literally picking the glass out of my sister's skin, and I was picking it off my skin too. Because every time we would twist and turn, we would feel like glass stabbing us somewhere. So we're like, what the freak? So we're taking it out ourselves. We weren't able to clean our wounds. We literally had to stay in bed. We were promised that we were gonna eat a meal. We never ate. We never ate that night. And the next day, I managed to leave and actually go next door and get a telephone to call the police, because we were hungry, and we had cuts and bruises everywhere, and they weren't doing anything. Like, no, this is not right. So I ran next door, and I got somebody, the next door neighbor, and I called the police. The police came, they took pictures, and eventually we were removed from that home. Then from there, we moved on to a real foster home. Like, this was a real foster home. We didn't know these people. These people were not family. These were just random people that were getting paid to have foster kids. So when we moved there, there was other foster kids. This woman, it was a woman. She had like three other foster kids, and it was me and my little sister moving in at the time. So she had about 5 foster kids in total, with me and my little sister being there as well. So now, a couple months down the road, I get molested. Now at this point, I'm 6 years old. The dude is about 15 years old, and I was molested. Okay, so I'm in pain, I'm hurting, you know. At this time, I still have visitation with my parents. I'm taken away from them, but I still have visitation while they're getting their stuff together. The agencies were giving them a chance to get their stuff together so that me and my sister can be placed back with them. So I get molested, and the next day, I had a visitation with my parents and my family. So I go to the agency, and, you know, just a regular visit, and, like, they're like, what's wrong? They're like, there's something wrong with you. So I'm like, I try to act it off because, you know, I was a little scared. Anybody who's been in my situation may understand what I'm saying. So I was a little scared, and it took me a minute to let them know, but they just kept questioning me because they've seen my body, my like, the way I was acting, like, my body language was not okay. So I finally opened up to my older cousin, and I told her, I was like, listen, this is what happened. And I didn't want to tell my mom because I thought my mom would, like, literally go crazy. Like, I'm not going to tell my mom. So I told my cousin, I opened up to my cousin, I told my cousin, and she was like,
what? Like, what? Like, you said, huh?
So I was like, yeah. So she wound up telling the agency, and when she told the agency, they literally did a test on me, and my insides were like inflamed. Like, I'm a 6-year-old. My insides were inflamed, and you can just tell something wasn't right. So they did a rape kit on me, and it came back that I was molested, and there was some abnormalities in my private area. They then told my mom. My mom went ballistic. Yes, she was an addict. Yes, she may have not been in the right place, but she still cared for her kids. She still cared for her kids. She was about to go to jail for killing a 15-year-old. And from that moment, they removed me from that home, and my sister was still there. She still stood there. So I was removed, and she was still there. Little do you know, the same boy that molested me molested her as well. So they eventually removed her. But when they removed me from that house, they moved me to another foster home. And the foster home I was staying at, the lady was amazing. Like, this lady was an older lady. She was either 50 or 60s. And she was so amazing. I talked to my sister every day. I loved her to death. Like, that was the best foster parent I could ask for. Like, she loved me. She showed me what a mother really is like. You know what I'm saying? Like, what a mother is. And I wanted to stay there. Like, I wanted her to adopt me. And I asked her multiple times if she could adopt me. But she was just too old. I don't think the system would allow her to. I don't know. Something of that sort. And my sister wouldn't be able to move in because of her age and her health or whatever it was. When I moved to this other foster home, my sister stayed at the other lady's house where I was molested. This was our first time ever being apart from each other, from her birth to that point. And I was basically like a mother to her. I protected her. I loved on her. All she knew was me. So eventually, I can't even think of it. What's it called? What's the things called that work at the agency? Not my counselor, but my caseworker one day, because I was so anxious about living with this lady, this beautiful woman. If she sees this video and she's still alive, I love you so much. You're the best foster parent a child could ask for. She broke the news to me that me and my sister and I were in the process of being adopted. And being the fact that we were in the process of being adopted, they needed us to both be in the same home, and my sister had got molested, so she needed to move anyway. So we were moved into a group home, and this group home had many kids, many children. Like, it was a group home, there's many kids that were in the same situation I was in. So my sister and I, we went through hell in that home. My sister, mostly, she was picked on. She was the younger one, and I would literally have to fight. Her underwears were stolen. All her stuff, her toys, everything would get stolen. And me being the older sister, I would defend her, and I would get into a lot of trouble because, yeah, you're not going to sit here and, pick on my little sister. Like, that's out. So, whatever. So, boom. We stayed there at the group home for about 1 or 2 years. And my aunt and my uncle, we found out that my aunt and my uncle from my mom's side, my biological aunt and uncle from my mother's side, were going to adopt us. And we were so excited, like, we were anxious. We were ready to be loved, and we were ready to be a part of a family. Once that happened, we were ready to go. Like, we were getting visitations from my adopted parents. They were coming every week. And at this point, our visitation from our biological parents were gone. Like, we had no more visitation with them. They weren't getting themselves together. They just were, stuck on drugs. So at that point, at this point already, me and her are just broken. Like, we're already broken as it is. Like, we already took us from my parents. We've already been molested. We've been abused at this point. You know what I'm saying? They're not feeding us. Like, so we're already broken. Like, there's nothing else we can do. We're kids. Like, all we can do is endure the pain. So yeah, we were happy to be part of a family, a real family.
So we're gonna fast forward a little bit. We'll fast forward a little bit.
My parents now have signed and they gave up their rights. So now my adopted parents were able to get in and go to court, and they were going to court from Florida all the way to New York because we were in New York. We were in the foster system in New York City. We were getting adopted into a family that lived in Florida, so they had to, travel every time they had a court date. So at this point, my parents signed up their rights, and now they had the opportunity to come in and just, snatch us. So at this, I'm 10 years old when I'm in the group home. So when I got to the group home, I was about 10. So now they signed up their rights. Now my adopted parents are going to court. They finally get the papers. They finally sign over the papers. Now it's time for us to get on the plane. Me and my little sister, they come pick us up. We pack up our stuff, and it's time for us to get on the plane and go live with them in Florida. So now when we get there to the adopted, to my adopted parents' house, I don't like to call them my aunt and uncle because it's sad. So, and if you guys are seeing this, I'm doing great, but God got you. So we got adopted. It felt amazing. It was too good to be true. Too good. Like, it was amazing. I felt like a queen. I'm pretty sure my sister was still young. At the time when I finally actually got adopted and I started living with them, I was about 12 years old. She was only 12, 11, 10, 9. She's 3 years younger than me. So she was 9 years old. She didn't really, understand what really was going on. You know what I'm saying? She's just thinking, hey, okay, finally we got a loving home. We're here, whatever. So we went to Disney. They took us to Disney. Never been to Disney. They took us to Disney. They took us to SeaWorld. They enrolled us in school. We did arts and crafts. It was great. It felt like home. It felt like love. It felt like, it felt like I like this. It felt great. Then I might get a little teary-eyed, so please cooperate with me. Then things turned for the worst. They turned for the worst. And one day it came to the point where I asked, every child is curious. Where's my biological parents? Like, why can't I talk to them? Why can't I see them? I want to know where they're at. Like, are they okay? Are they alive? Are they still doing drugs? Because I heard they were doing drugs. Are they still doing drugs? And they denied me. Like, every time I'd ask a question, they denied me. Like, they would tell me that my parents don't care about me. They would tell me that my parents don't want me. They would tell me, don't worry about your parents. We're your new parents. Like, no, I want to know where my parents are. My little sister was too young to understand. I was a little older to know what was going on and to ask questions of that sort. So when I asked that, everything went sour. Like, it was great, and it turned to, like, horrible. When they realized how broken me and my little sister were, they didn't make anything better. They made it 10 times worse for us. We both were mentally and physically abused. We both were molested, and nobody believed us. Okay? I was more depressed than my little sister, and angry because I just was older and knew a little more and understood that I wasn't with my real family. I had a lot of questions and was very curious, and nobody would answer. I began to cut myself and was very suicidal. I was Baker-acted multiple times. If you don't know what Baker-acted is, you're basically in a psych ward because they think you're crazy. It got to the point where I put a knife to my neck, and I did that in front of everybody. I did that in front of my entire adopted family. They were literally sitting in the living room, and one day I was so depressed and I couldn't take it no more that I took a knife And I went to the middle of the room and I put it to my neck. And I told them that I'm going to kill myself. Right in front of their faces, I was going to kill myself. And I turned and I looked in my sister's eyes. I looked in my little sister's eyes, and it was just something that said, no, don't do it. Don't do it. Your sister needs you. Like, your sister needs you. Like, you can't do that. So I looked into her eyes and I was like, no, I'm not going to do it. I ran out the door. When I say I ran, I darted out the door because I didn't know what else to do. So that's when I ran away for the first time ever in my life. I ran away and I was gone for 3 days. Nobody knew where I was at. Nobody knew where I went. No way of contacting me. I had no phone. I had no friends. I had one best friend, and that's the house I was at. I told my little sister, I was like, why don't you come with me? Like, you should come with me. Like, we need to get away from this. Like, this is not healthy for us, and I think we should just leave. I think we can do it. So she's young, and she's like, no. She's like, I'm scared. I don't want to go. So I left. And I didn't leave her. Because every single day, I wouldn't miss a day. For those 3 days that I was gone, I would go to her house. I would go to the house. I would go to my house where I was living at the time. And I would go to the window, and I would always check on her to make sure that she's okay. So, it came to one day, the third day that I ran away, I was gone. My best friend's mom was like, you need to go home. Like, I think you need to go home. And I'm just like, I really don't want to. She's like, you need to go home. So I go home, and I still was not happy. I still was depressed. I still was angry. I still was cutting myself. I still was punching walls. It came to the point where my knuckles felt like they were broken. It was like every knuckle was bloody. Every knuckle had a cut on it. I had cuts up and down my arms. I used to punch the concrete floor. Like, it was horrible. My adoptive parents seeked out a psychologist. My adoptive parents seeked out counseling for both me, my little sister, and the family. That did not work. The counselor was a family friend, so that never works. My adoptive parents also had 3 biological kids. One was in college already when we were adopted, and 2 were still in grade school. Two of them one was in middle school and one was in high school. She had 1 son and 2 daughters. So, we were not treated the same. Me and my little sister would get bullied, and we were just the outcast. Like, we were nothing. We were just there. And while they would go to the Nike store or to the mall, they would get Jordans. We would have to go to Walmart, and we'd have to get Walmart shoes for the whole school year. Holes in it. Just gross. When they got Burger King, we got leftovers. When they got ice cream and cookies, we got applesauce. We would sneak in the middle of the night to go in the fridge and get some food. We would go in the fridge to get some ice cream, just to get a little bit of sweet, some dessert. Like, every kid wants that, you know what I'm saying? And they would eat that in front of us, and we'd have to sit there and eat leftovers and applesauce. What kid wants to eat applesauce while the other kids on the other side eating cookies and ice cream? So we snuck in the middle of the night, almost every night, and we would eat out the refrigerator. We would sneak in the fridge and bring the food into the room, because maybe that night we weren't full. We didn't have a full dinner, and we had leftovers, and there was only a little bit left, and me and my little sister had to split it, and they just had a whole meal of Burger King, so they were full. So one day, my older adopted sister, the oldest one, she seen the evidence of us leaving the dirty spoon of the ice cream and the dirty bowl of the ice cream in the sink. So we got woken up around 5 o'clock in the morning, dragged us out of bed. When she dragged us out of bed, she made us eat the biggest tub of ice cream you could imagine. And when I say the biggest tub of ice cream, I'm talking about the biggest tub of ice cream. I will post a picture of how big the tub of ice cream was. and we both had our own tub. Not only did we have our own tub of ice cream, we had all the condiments you could think of: peanuts, fudge, strawberries, everything you could put on ice cream. We had it. We had to eat the entire tub. We could not get out the chair or the table until we ate the entire tub. And okay, fine, it was good in the beginning, but when you start getting to the point where you feel like you gotta puke and you feel like you can't take it no more, and they make you and they force you to still sit there and eat it, that's torture. One day, I was stripped of all my clothes from head to toe, and I was thrown outside with no clothes on, locked the door behind me, no way in. Another time, it was to the point where me and my sister would stay up at night and we would be giggling just like any normal kids do. Like, a kid is not going to go to sleep automatically. Like, that's part of being a child. They made my little sister sleep outside because we would not go to sleep when they wanted us to go to sleep. Things were getting so bad. Things were getting so bad. Like, really, really bad. And it got so bad that my self-esteem was little to nothing. Little to nothing. Like, I had nothing there. I didn't care for myself. Came to the point where my adopted parents told me, hey, go ahead, kill yourself. If you kill yourself, all I have to do is bury you. That broke me. It broke me. Counselors didn't work. Medications didn't work. Psychologists didn't work. It was just, we were broken and they didn't know how to deal with us. Something funny to switch it up. One day, we literally had chores, but our chores were unusual. One day, I was literally scrubbing the floor. Literally. I had a sponge and I had soap, and I was literally scrubbing the corners of the floor. And I got to underneath the cabinet, and come to find out, my sister wasn't even taking her medication. She had about 3 full pill bottles of pills underneath the cabinet. And I'm like, oh, this mother freaker here. And I was taking all my pills, and it made me feel horrible. Like, I'll never take pills ever in my life. I'm me, and I love me for me. So one day, my adopted mom, she tried to literally shove the pills down my sister's throat. Literally, I'm not joking. This is serious. Tried to shove them down my sister's throat. My sister denied it. And this was her first time ever attempting to run away. Did she get anywhere? No, she didn't, because she just went right next door and they found her. But she attempted. So they couldn't take my behavior no more. I was smoking cigarettes already at this time. I was about 12 or 13. I was smoking cigarettes. I was retaliating. I was angry. I had really bad anger issues. At this point, I done fought everybody in my house. I fought my adopted sister, my other adopted sister. Me and her got in such a bad fight that she almost poked my eyeball out my socket. And to this day, I still have a scar in my eye because she nearly had my eyeball out my socket because I put my hands on my adopted aunt, which is fine. My uncle literally kicked my back into a glass door with a steel-toe boot because I was beating his wife. You know, because she literally would put her hand in my eyeball like this.
And she would tell me, look at me. Look at me. Like,
she would literally do that. And I still to this day, I don't like people putting their hands in my face. Don't put your hands in my face. So, they couldn't take my behavior no more. I was getting really, really bad. And they moved me. They shipped me. They literally took me out of school one day. And they had a ticket for me. And it was a ticket to North Carolina. Now I don't know where I'm going. I'm still young. I was like in my freshman year of high school, and never traveled. You know what I'm saying? I never really traveled like that by myself. I did ride a plane and stuff like that, but I didn't know how to travel by myself. I didn't have any cellular device. I didn't have anything. So they literally just gave me a ticket, and they was like, "Hey, get on the next bus, and when the next bus comes, you need to it's gonna drop you off in North Carolina, and you'll be getting picked up. Picked up by who? I don't know. Where in North Carolina? I don't know. Just see when you get there. Just follow the ticket." So I didn't get to say goodbye to my little sister. I didn't get to tell her where I was going. They didn't tell her anything about my whereabouts. Basically, I just disappeared. She wasn't allowed to talk to me. She was clueless. She then began to be depressed. She got depressed, and she got very angry because I'm the only one that loved her. You know what I'm saying? I love her. Like, I loved her to no end. You guys can only imagine how it would feel. That's like if somebody takes your daughter or your son away from you and you have no clue where they're at. You would feel hurt. My adoptive parents were telling her things like I'm a prostitute. They were telling her things like I left her because I didn't want to be with her and I just left her. That wasn't true. They were telling her things like I was doing crack. I was a crackhead. Nowhere near it. Never picked up that type of drug in my life. All that was a lie. By this time, like I said, I was smoking cigarettes. I was very depressed. I was suicidal. I was angry. Just so many emotions. Worried about my sister. My sister went through a lot, and I wasn't there to protect her, and that killed me. They corrupted her mind so bad that I got a letter from her saying that she didn't love me no more. I got a letter saying that she didn't care and that I didn't love her and that I'm a prostitute and I smoke crack. I was so broken, even more. My life turned around one day. At the age of 17, God answered my prayers. My adopted cousin saved me from everything. She protected me. If she sees this, thank you so much. I love you. She asked me one day, "What do you need from me?" I told her I just want one thing. And that one thing is to speak to my real parents. I want to know if they're okay. After 8 years, she helped me find my parents. I found them and I reunited with them. I moved with my dad at the age of 18. My little sister was going through hell still. She still is there. She couldn't leave yet. I had not talked to her. We were not allowed to have phones or toys or anything. All we had was each other. I got my first phone when I was reunited with my dad. I made a Facebook. And my sister snuck a phone at school and found me on Facebook one day. And we talked every day while she was at school from then on. I wasn't happy with my dad one day, and I got into a relationship with someone back in Florida, and I moved back to Florida. At that point, I became homeless for the first time ever in my life. One day, I was laying in the grass looking at the stars, and I said to myself, I should walk and go see my little sister. It's been so long. I should walk and go. I mean, I have nothing else to do. Like, what can I lose? Like, I should just go walk and just see her. The walk was about 5 or 6 hours from where I was laying my head at the time, and it was in the back. It was just it was a nice place because it had a little lake and it was quiet. It was behind a Publix grocery store. It was behind there. So I woke up my boyfriend at the time and I told him, I said, "Hey, I want to go take a walk. And he's like, where do you want to take a walk to? And I was like, you might think I'm crazy, but it's like a 4 or 5, 6 hour walk. So he's like, okay. I mean, what do we have to do? Like, we have nothing to do. So we woke up. He woke up, and we started walking. And I walked to see her, and I get there, and she snuck out the house, and we went to the park, and we chilled for a little bit. Actually, we drank a little bit. We drank a little liquor. She gave me a little liquor for the ride home, for the walk home. And she made me like 3 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and I ate that. And she gave me the shoes off her feet. And she wanted me to stay with her. She wanted me to live outside in the shed, and I told her I can't do that. Like, you're crazy. She's like, please, just do it. I'll make a little pallet in there for you, and it'll be great. And I know I can't do that. What if they go in there and they see me? So I then a couple months passed, and one day I got a call saying that my boyfriend was on drugs. My boyfriend was doing fentanyl. Was it fentanyl? I can't remember the exact. It wasn't fentanyl. It was another drug that had just came out, but it was a crazy drug. And I couldn't take it. So I picked up my stuff and I went back to New York. And when I went back to New York, I went into a youth shelter. And eventually I got some help. Great youth shelter. I got help to get my own apartment. I started college. I had a job, and I started to find myself, and I started to love myself, regardless of my flaws, regardless of everything I went through, my scars. I found myself. I learned to live life by myself. I learned to love who I am and all my flaws. And I learned to do great things. So we're going to fast forward a little bit to now, to current. Currently, my little sister, she's 21 years old. I'm 24. She has a son, a 3-year-old son, and a daughter on the way. She is married. She's financially stable, and she is happy. And I'm 24. I have my own apartment. I'm in the process of starting school to get my degree in medicine, and I'm happy. No matter what you're going through, this is my lesson to you guys. Yes, this is my story, but this is my lesson, and this is my advice to everybody that is watching me. No matter what you're going through in life, no matter what you've been through in life, just be strong. God has a plan for you. God has a plan for everybody. You're not on this earth with no purpose. And if I can do it, if I can go through what I went through, I know some people have it worse, but so can you. And before I end the video, I hope you guys enjoyed it. This is just me. I wanted to give you guys who I am, and for those that support me, I love you guys, and I appreciate it a lot. You guys just, thank you so much. And I don't even have that many subscribers, but you start from a little and you grow. You know what I'm saying? So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. And if you guys made it this far, I appreciate it. And make sure that you guys subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos. It's not going to be as sad as this one. I got like a try-on haul coming up and stuff like that. So, yeah. So, thank you guys. Peace.